Liver King here. I got 1 pound of delicious raw liver right in front of me because liver is king. Here we go. Because I lied and I misled a lot of people.
Liver King, the self-proclaimed raw Liver King, once stood as the internet's wildest symbol of primal strength. With a shredded body, wild eyes, and jaw-dropping clips of him chomping down raw liver and even bull testicles like it was candy, he became a viral legend. He swore he was steroid-free, telling millions that his power came from nothing but a caveman lifestyle. No couches, no junk food, no modern comfort, just his 9 ancestral tenets that promised a return to savage glory. People bought in, followers ditched fast food and flocked to his message, desperate to live like warriors of the past. But then came the scandal that tore it all apart. Leaked emails proved Liver King was secretly dropping hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month on steroids, the very thing he denied over and over again. And if that wasn't enough, his unhinged threats to attack Joe Rogan made him look more like a paranoid villain than a fitness guru. One by one, the cracks in his empire showed, and soon the mighty caveman was exposed as just another fraud in gym shorts. From a nobody to a viral superstar, to a man drowning in disgrace, Liver King destroyed the very empire he built with his own lies.
Yes, I've done steroids, and yes, I'm on steroids.
But here's the real question. Was Brian Johnson, the man behind the name, ever truly committed to living primal? Or was the whole act just a cash grab dressed up as ancestral wisdom? Because make no mistake, his videos of tearing into raw liver, heart, and testicles with the fury of a prehistoric beast were shocking. But the truth behind that physique was even more shocking. And in less than 2 years, this so-called caveman went from worship to widely hated. Liver King didn't just go viral. He took over TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube like a storm. Millions of followers locked in, hypnotized by his claim of a natural body that looked carved from stone. Young men everywhere saw him as the key to strength without the chemicals. No protein powders, no steroids, just raw meat and grit. For a generation drowning in supplements and shortcuts, he was the savage alternative to the polished gym bros flashing whey protein tubs. Then came his empire move, ancestral supplements. Bottled liver, heart, and bone marrow, dried and packaged as a shortcut to his primal power.
Liver King here. I got 1 pound of delicious raw liver right in front of me because liver is king. Here we go.
The business exploded, pulling in over $100 million a year, transforming Liver King from just another influencer into a walking brand. His primals weren't just fans, they were disciples. They ate raw liver, trained like maniacs, and swore by his 9 ancestral tenets, all while lining up to buy his products. At his peak, he bragged about over 6 million TikTok followers, 2.9 million on Instagram, and 1 million more on YouTube. Every post was a sermon: eat raw meat, fight, train hard. There's no way he's natural. That's what Joe Rogan flat out declared on his podcast. And it wasn't just him. Derek, the voice behind More Plates, More Dates, and a respected expert on hormones and steroids, tore Liver King's physique apart, explaining why muscles that massive at his age were scientifically impossible without a chemical boost. Their voices echoed what the entire fitness world was already whispering. The caveman king was too good to be true. Doctors and health experts piled on too, warning that his so-called ancestral diet wasn't just a gimmick, it was downright dangerous. Raw meat could bring bacterial infections, parasites, even long-term risks like heart disease. But none of that scared people as much as the elephant in the room. How could a man in his 50s, eating cow liver and dunking himself in ice baths, achieve a body that looked sculpted by CGI? Under pressure, Liver King didn't back down, he doubled down. He went online, chest puffed, mocking the haters, laughing at the skeptics, and even making parody videos of those who questioned him. He thought confidence could silence critics, but instead, it had the opposite effect. Fans started to feel insulted, like he was spitting in their faces. One Reddit user summed it up perfectly. A body like that at 50 without anything? Who buys that? Johnson's non-stop denials didn't kill the rumors. They poured gasoline on them. Sure, some diehard fans swore up and down that his body could be achieved naturally, but the wider internet wasn't buying it anymore. Social media became a battlefield. One side clinging to the caveman king myth, the other calling him a liar in all caps. And through it all, Liver King just smirked, brushing it off, thinking his charisma alone could silence the noise.
My intestines are shattered. I do enemas every day to take a shit. I have to lay down on the ground with the fetal position with my legs to the left to actually go to the bathroom.
Yes, I've seen everything that's been happening with the Liver King recently. This is someone that I've talked about over the years, and recently it's pretty clear something has happened to his mental. It's downright sad and scary, actually. He got arrested like 2 days ago now for making terroristic threats against Joe Rogan, even going so far as to travel to Austin, seemingly with the sole purpose of attacking him or, in his words, challenging him and fighting him honorably.
But that arrogance would prove to be his downfall, because the truth wasn't just creeping closer, it was about to crash through the door. And on November 28, 2022, the bomb finally went off. Derek from More Plates, More Dates dropped a 1-hour nuclear video called The Liver King Lie. In it, he revealed leaked emails from a trusted source. And these weren't rumors. These were receipts. The emails showed Liver King was burning through over $11,000 every single month on a cocktail of hardcore performance enhancers. Testosterone, Winstrol, Decadurabolin, Omnitrope, and more. This wasn't just a slip-up. It was a pharmacy-level regimen, carefully planned and supervised by a hormone specialist dosing him with up to 120 milligrams of testosterone a week. And if that wasn't enough, there was even proof he went under the knife for AB implants to make his natural six-pack pop. The internet's reaction was instant, and it was brutal. Fans who once worshipped him now felt played like fools. Everything he built was a lie. I feel exploited, one furious supporter wrote. Others admitted they bought his pricey supplements because they believed his shredded body came from nature, not needles. For millions, his exposure didn't just crush a fitness icon. It destroyed their faith in natural bodybuilding altogether. And just 3 days later, the so-called king tried to put out the fire with a slickly staged video titled Liver King Confession. Sitting on a leather throne, head bowed like some fallen emperor, Brian Johnson finally admitted the truth. Yes, I've done steroids, and yes, I'm still on steroids, monitored and managed by a hormone clinician. But instead of a heartfelt apology, what came next sounded like a rehearsed excuse. He claimed the entire Liver King persona was actually an experiment designed to raise awareness about suicide, depression, and men's mental health. Fans weren't buying it for a second. To them, this wasn't compassion, it was manipulation. Instead of remorse, he looked like a man scrambling to justify a multi-million-dollar scam. At one point, he even bragged, "Before social media, I was rich and anonymous. After social media, I'm still rich, but no longer anonymous." Those words hit like a slap in the face. To many, it was clear. He wasn't sorry for lying, he was only sorry for getting caught. The backlash grew louder when he added, "I convinced myself this had nothing to do with the ancestral message. I'm not a competitive athlete, so who did I deceive?" That's when the internet exploded. PewDiePie, one of YouTube's biggest names, tore him apart. "You deceived your entire audience. Your whole brand was built on natural and ancestral living, but your body was a lie." Millions had flipped their entire lives upside down because of him, eating raw meat, training like gladiators, following every word of his gospel. Now they felt humiliated. "I bought his supplements thinking he was natural. Now I feel used," one fan vented online. Another admitted, "I ate raw liver every single day thinking it was the secret. Turns out it was just steroids." Their fury wasn't just about being lied to, it was about how casually he shrugged it all off. In a documentary clip, Johnson even asked, "What did I do wrong?" A line that fans blasted as cold and heartless. The fallout came fast and ugly. His millions of followers evaporated overnight. Ancestral supplements revenue nosedived. And then came the legal hammer, a massive $25 million class action lawsuit from customers who claimed they were scammed by his fake natural image. Though it was eventually settled behind closed doors, the damage was irreversible. People didn't just feel angry, they felt betrayed to their core. One Reddit user mocked him brutally. "He's like a kid with chocolate on his face denying he ate the cake." But instead of retreating to fix his wrecked reputation, Liver King spiraled deeper into madness. The once inspiring caveman now looked more like a loose cannon. With sales tanking and millions turning away, Johnson began pointing fingers, and one name topped his hit list: Joe Rogan. In his warped mind, Rogan wasn't a critic. He was the villain who destroyed him. That grudge mutated into full-blown obsession. By June 2025, Johnson was unleashing deranged Instagram rants, all aimed squarely at Rogan. And then came the jaw dropper. On June 23rd, Liver King appeared stark naked, draped in a bizarre fox fur headdress, gripping two gold-plated weapons in his fists, eyes wild with rage. Wild-eyed, bloodshot, and shaking with rage, Johnson bellowed into the camera, "Joe Rogan, I challenge you to a man-to-man fight. You're a black belt. I know you could take me down in seconds, but I'm throwing down the gauntlet anyway. Your rules, your turf, let the whole world watch." But the bravado quickly turned into something darker. In the very next clip, one pupil blown wide, he clutched gold-plated weapons and screamed, "Joe Rogan, you're dead, you bastard!" Fans no longer saw a joke. They saw a dangerous meltdown. Soon Johnson was on the road, driving from his Texas mansion to Austin, live streaming the trip like a man on a mission. Holed up in a luxury hotel with his wife, kids, and even the family dog, he ranted that Rogan was a bully who had wrecked his family. Then he flashed a box stuffed with cash and weapons, calling it a gift for Rogan. The stunts escalated, bragging about 40-hour sleepless binges and bizarre detox rituals, all while waving those weapons on camera. That was the last straw. Austin police moved in fast, labeling him a serious threat. Rogan, contacted by authorities, confirmed he'd never even met Johnson, but agreed the clips were terrifying. On June 24th, 2025, Liver King's downfall hit rock bottom, arrested inside the Four Seasons on a charge of terroristic threat. The collapse didn't stop with his arrest. It only got uglier. Johnson even live-streamed the humiliating moment he was cuffed and shoved into a squad car, grinning through the madness as if it were content. After posting $20,000 bail, he was slapped with an ankle monitor, banned from coming within 200 yards of Rogan and his family, and ordered to undergo a psych evaluation within a week. But instead of backing down, he doubled down. Johnson kept dropping cryptic videos aimed at Rogan, calling him a bully, and even dangling an invite for a July 4th sit-down, bragging, "These videos are never stopping." Rogan stayed silent in public, but quietly told cops the man was clearly spiraling, even hinting about whispers of heavy substance abuse. Then came the gut punch that broke whatever loyalty he had left. A clip of Johnson kicking his own dog. That was it. Even his die-hard defenders recoiled in disgust and walked away for good. From there, the unraveling was undeniable. He uploaded clips hallucinating conversations with his wife and kids when they weren't even there, proof of a mind cracking in real time. The once primal icon of raw power had turned into a sad poster boy for denial and self-sabotage. His sons Rad and Stryker, once props in his empire, were now unwilling witnesses to their father's implosion. Meanwhile, Ancestral supplements kept raking in millions from the $150 billion global wellness market, proof that the brand could survive even as its founder burned out. But online, his reign was over. Johnson's posts now struggle for traction, and the name Liver King has become slang for madness, fraud, and failure. That craving for shortcuts leaves people exposed, hungry, fragile, easy to fool, and once trust gets twisted for profit, the damage isn't just disappointment, it's a scar that lasts. The truth, any empire built on lies is a house of cards, and sooner or later it collapses. When the mask falls, what's left is broken faith and shredded credibility. In today's world, every slip lives online forever, and even the smallest lie can snowball into an avalanche that buries everything. Influence is heavy. Every word, every move ripples out. Wield it wrong, and it poisons the very fans who believed in you. Wield it with honesty, it can actually build something lasting. Clout isn't a free ride, it's responsibility. And that's not just a warning for influencers, but for us too. We've got to stay sharp, question those too perfect idols, and guard our trust like gold. Not these untouchable super beings we chase like fools. In the end, this whole mess shows us something real. Power doesn't come from puffed up muscles or flashy online vibes. True strength comes from being straight with yourself and giving others the respect they deserve. The one thing that keeps anyone standing tall through the storms is a foundation of truth, and that's something you can't fake. When truth fuels how you move, the crashes don't scare you anymore because there's nothing left to hide. Liver King's wild saga is a wake-up call for all of us in a world where anyone can spin up a fake persona and rake in likes. The question is, are we so busy chasing empty promises that we let the real grit of honesty slip through our fingers? When that so-called primal throne of Liver King collapsed in a heap of steroids and scams, it left behind one of the most expensive lessons we've seen online. Sure, You can ride the con game for quick fame and stacks of cash, but in the end, the bill comes due in your own wrecked mind and shredded dignity. If you made it this far, sound off in the comments. Do you think Liver King will ever bounce back, or is he done for good? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you want more deep dives like this.